What's up, guys? This is Luke, DJ Platurn professionally, repping the Bay Area, 45 Sessions. I'm here at Amoeba San Francisco, one of the best record stores on planet Earth. This is what's in my bag. Okay, well, the obvious, of course, me being me, and anyone who knows me, I gotta start with the two favorites from the Native Tongues catalog right here.
Yo, microphone check, 1, 2, what is this? The 5-foot assassin with the roughneck business. I float like gravity, never had a cavity.
Hey, how you doing? Sorry you can't get through, but leave your name and your number, and I'll get back to you. Check it.
I have a pretty rich history with both of these records, and of course it's hard to choose. There's always the debate amongst the hardcores that love to claim which one is best out of these two groups, but if I had to pick, these would definitely be mine. So De La Soul is Dead. Probably listened to this record a couple of thousand times in my life. I know it front to back. Same thing with Low End Theory. As far as rap music goes and the era of albums that are pretty much flawless and you're able to listen to from front to back with zero issue, tells a great story, the whole nine. These are gonna go down in history as probably two of the best hip hop albums ever made. I love these records so much. I still listen to them all the time to this day, and I play them out as a DJ constantly still. So samples in the whole nine. Prince Paul, Tip, everybody, you know, involved in the production of these records are just kudos. Some of the best rap music ever made.
Zippity doo, now let's zip on by. Feed on the weed and we're feeling high. Sun is on kicking the cheese and rolling thick. Come on, there's no time to hide. Yo, yo, check it, here we go, yo, check it. What's the scenario?
I did see this, which is one of my absolute favorite rap records of all time as well. Pete Rock and CeeLo Smooth's Mecca and the Soul Brother.
Yeah, so lovely. How we like to do it in the 90s. Rock and CeeLo Smooth coming at y'all.
I tell this story on occasion about how this LP essentially was my kind of spiritual moment as a producer when I really started diving into this record, like truly diving into it, and how it was all pieced together sonically, melodically, just the layering of samples, what Pete Rock did with this. I really have like few words for this record and what it actually did for me as a producer and a DJ. So absolute favorite right here. And he's still making dope stuff to this day. This one in particular was really interesting to me. James Brown at Studio 54. I've never known about him doing a concert or a live show at Studio 54, but this is really fascinating. You know, he's got all of it on here. Good Foot. Brand New Bag.
Papa's got a brand new bag.
I Got the Feeling, Cold Sweat. It's all there. It's probably more like, you know, disco renditions and whatnot. Yeah, March 26, 1980. So this is gonna be a fascinating listen for sure. I kind of went with the classics today. You know, Kool and the Gang is huge up there. This record is really exceptional. I have a lot of this stuff, but it's really nice to see how the approach goes down in terms of like the reissues and everything, like what is important as far as packaging and, you know, if it's an audiophile thing and whatnot. But this is an OG press, and, you know, these records from Kool and the Gang during this era just sound incredible, as is. There's really nothing that you have to do with it. And jazz is definitely up there, man, as one of the best ones. There's incredible songs on here. Doogie is an unbelievable song. Sea of Tranquility. Remember John Coltrane, Northeast, Southwest. Definitely one of the best Kool and the Gang LPs in my opinion, for sure. This basically no-brainer, come on. I mean, Maggot Brain is just a flawless record from front to back. And it's not even like a funk soul kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like this really does transcend so much for music fans. You know, rock heads can get into this, jazz heads, psychedelic heads, you know, everybody can appreciate certain aspects of this. I won't dive into too many details, but, you know, the otherworldly effects within the brain and the body, both induced by myself and just the music as a whole. But, you know, a lot of people have probably felt what they would consider the closest thing to God, maybe, like by listening to Maggot Brain. And yeah, just another record that I've just consumed endlessly.
Can you get? I wanna know if you can get the love.
On to the next here, of course, Sly.
It's a family affair. It's a family affair.
It's really, really just hard to put into words how immensely influential he was and is to this day and will forever be. I really do think that he is responsible, him and of course the band are responsible for changing modern music. They really did do something entirely unique and special that had never been done before. And when they came on the scene, both, you know, as early as the more kind of soul stylings and whatnot, and then getting into the dirtier and deeper funk stuff, there was nobody like him. Greg on the drums, just being a nasty ass white boy dude, like, you know, hitting the licks that he did, and the rest of the band, like, they were just incredible, and Sly was as well. I live in Vallejo. The house that he grew up in is 5 minutes away from where I live, and he's a big point of pride for anybody that lives up there and is into Vallejo music history. There's a Riot Going On it's one of those funk soul records that I think can be placed at any point in time as far as, you know, what the US goes through as far as grappling with its identity and all of its issues. It's just so timeless. It's such a perfect LP. Sly, man, Bay Area's finest right there. I had to pick Roy because he passed recently, rest in peace. This is probably one of the best blaxploitation LPs ever recorded. It's a really incredible record. I'm sampled a bunch of times. Obviously, Pam being the centerpiece just in the movie alone, but just, you know, musically, man, this is just such a great LP. It's just so beautiful and subtle and classy, ridiculously funky and groovy at the same time. So shout out to Roy. My dad was actually a DJ back in the day. He was primarily a classic rock guy, so that's what I grew up with a lot in my household. And I'm originally from Iceland, and back when I was a kid, and when he was doing what he was doing on the radio and in youth clubs and whatnot, the stuff that he had access to was fairly limited, but he would go to London on occasion and pick up records, and then there were records that got brought to the radio station in Reykjavik also. And so these little gems just made their way through, and Soft Machine was a group that I wouldn't say wildly out of place, but definitely like pretty different from your standard kind of classic rock sound, and I was really, really intrigued by them. I'm a huge fan. I have most of their catalog at this stage, and it's just always a really, really fascinating listen that takes you by surprise every time because there's so many little weird things. It's like the ultimate nerd rock, and it's great. Soft Machine is huge. If you don't know about them, they are a really, really good kind of like foray into just like psychedelic krautrock stuff and just really out there and weird. They're a total unique sound in their own right. And then, of course, speaking of Kraut and the German angle of music, of course, Kraftwerk. one of my favorite groups of all time. The thing I think that blows me away more than anything is the fact that they built their own synthesizers and then played them as beautifully as they did. I think it's super dope that they still perform. I saw them some years back for the first time. They handed out the 3D glasses, got our heads into the whole experience. It's really amazing when you can see a group get up on stage with such a simple approach, because a huge part of the live show is just the lighting alone and the visuals, right? But the fact that you have these guys up on stage, just there, pretty much just one machine, standing like a cashier, checking out your groceries, like stiff, same place the whole time. And they're just banging out these incredible songs that are just gorgeous and beautiful. Kraftwerk all day, on some b-boy shit too. I'm a hardcore Portishead fan.
Give me a reason to love you.
Like, they're equally as hip hop as they are electronic to me. Really, like when you think about the approach, the only difference really is that Beth is singing versus a rapper being on there.
How can I believe this miracle where the wind blows dry?
They're hip hop as hell to me, you know what I mean? Not just musically, just how hard it is, and the types of like feeling and emotion that the melodies that were, chosen for their music bed is just rugged as hell, man. It feels like, just some 90s Brooklyn shit. So, but this is also, this record here that she did with Rustin Man is a really special record also.
Mysteries of love where war is no more. Be there anytime.
I remember when it came out and wasn't entirely sure how to take it because it was so different from Portishead stuff, but it's still her voice, and the thing that Beth Gibbons' voice does really comes out beautifully. And this is, just sad music and gorgeous at the same time. I really love these records a lot. I think just the approach to the music that they made is really similar to my own production. When I dive into those kind of beats, that's really the sound that I am myself trying to tap into. The samples are what speak to you ultimately, right? And, their first few efforts, obviously Dummy, but I think the second and third album are equally as deep, even if it's not, the same sound that you were hoping to get out of them. I think they're exceptional. I think these guys are some of the most brilliant music makers in the history of music.
Wandering stars, for whom it is reserved, the blackness, the darkness forever.
I want to end on this record because there's some Vallejo history in this as well, because his dad, Johnny Otis, is originally from Vallejo. I mean, if you're Johnny Otis from Vallejo, you're gonna automatically claim a little bit of Shuggie anyway, but I mean, he's a Bay Area guy regardless, so Shuggie's still alive. I actually opened up for him, I want to say like a decade ago, and it was definitely one of the best things that I've ever done in my DJ career. It was the coolest thing ever to meet the guy, and for him to just be such a sweetheart, and he signed a bunch of my stuff, and it was just really cool. If you do fall in love with him as a musician, you can get with how wide of an array of output he actually put, because he was a blues guy first and foremost, because that's kind of what he took from his pops anyway. But then, getting into the sweet soul side of things, and then like the super gritty hardcore funk, all the psychedelic stuff, the whole thing is, in terms of his stretch and whatnot, is pretty much impeccable. He was just an absolutely brilliant artist.
Out of my head all the time, in the bed for a ride.
That kind of just wraps up the session for today, I guess. So
Awesome, Luke. Well, thanks for shopping and sharing with us today.
yeah, my pleasure.